Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody just joined. Just want to welcome everybody to our third installment of the Entitle training webinar series. If you haven't yet attended the other two or seen the recordings, those will be pushed out along with this recording as well once it is made available. So all these sessions are recorded so that you'll be able to access them as soon as they are available. So with that, I want to talk about today's session. So in our first two events, we covered install-based filtering, finding the customers you're looking for. We also covered Customer 360. So if you missed either of those, again, the recordings will be shared. And today's session will be on creating and working a pipeline, and I'll get into a little bit more details on that as well. And then our next session will be on May 22nd, which will be around the Entitle mobile application and a training on how to use the mobile app that's also available on tablets as well. So if you're somebody who's in the field or likes to use things on your mobile or tablet, this will be a great session for you to really get an overview of the app that we have for both Android and iOS. So with that, I will jump into today's session, and I'm going to start off with just a little bit of an overview of what we're going to be covering today, but the majority is going to be via a demo training inside of our demo environment. So today is all about creating and working a pipeline. So this is how to use the pipeline functionality with inside of the Entitle application. Some people might refer to it as campaigns, or some organizations might refer to it as campaigns. We consider pipelines and campaigns really to be synonymous for our purposes. So I'm going to get into how to create these, what are the different filtering capabilities that we have, really to get and drill down into the specific customers that you're looking to target. And then once you create these, I want to get into how to actually go about using the opportunities that have been created as part of a campaign, either if it's a campaign that you've created or if it's one that's been created by your organization and there are opportunities within it that you can leverage and address those opportunities. So that's going to be our roadmap for today's session. Just want to give a quick kind of background of what we're going to be looking at, but the majority of our time will be spent inside the Entitle platform. And again, if you have any questions as we go through here, please feel free to jump into the chat channel and add those, and I'll be make sure to cover them. So with that, I'm going to get out of my PowerPoint here and go into the demo environment, which you should be seeing now. So the demo environment, just so everybody has a little bit of context, is just fictitious data for a water filtration company. So of course, what you see in your environment is going to be specific to your organization, and there might be different labeling and different things inside of your environment. But generally, how to do this and the workflows are going to be the same as what I show here today. So on the left-hand side of the navigation functionality, you'll find the pipelines tool. So once you select on that, you'll see a couple of different things. So the first being all of the pipelines that have already been created. So these are ones that were either created by yourself or that were created by your organization and where they were generating leads for your team to access as well. But today's session is going to be focusing on how to actually create these pipelines and then how to go into them and use the opportunities that have been created. So to create your pipeline, what you'll see in the upper right-hand corner is this Create Pipeline button. So once you select on that, that will navigate to you to the Create Pipeline screen here. So the first thing that you'll need to do is put in the required fields here. So I'm just going to name this one Upgrade and Retrofits. And then you'll need to put in a start date and an end date. So if I want to work on this over the next couple of months, or maybe just the next month, I can select those dates here. Now you don't have to put in a target revenue, but if you want to add one, you can put a target revenue in here. And then I'm going to go ahead and select on user define and select next, which is then going to open up now where I begin building my pipeline. So as you get in here, if you need to reference any of the capabilities inside of the pipelines tool, there is over here on the right-hand side a little instructions here where you can see some details about how to create a pipeline. There is also a help articles inside of our help section where, again, you can get more details on how to create a pipeline. And to start, just to give a high-level overview of the different filtering capabilities, they start at the levels here of equipment, parts, service contracts, and warranties. So all of these different data attributes can be used and combined to really create specific lists of the customers that you are trying to target within your install base. Now, you don't have to use all of these, but you can leverage multiple of these in combination, similar to the install base filtering that's done, where you can mix and match multiple filters, really get down to that targeted list of customers that you're looking for. So I'm going to show a couple different examples of pipelines that you can create here. Of course, there's really an unlimited amount of ways that you can really segment the install base to create these opportunities via the pipelines feature. So of course, if you have different ideas or different ways that you want to target those, likely those can be done through the pipeline filters here. So to start off with, I'm going to select the equipment here because I'm going to be doing a scenario where I want to target my customers for an upgrade or a retrofit. Maybe there's a good opportunity to sell these kits or sell a service, or maybe both of those in this instance. So I'm going to go ahead and first start with the equipment that I want to target. So what I'll do is select those under the item category here. There's a number of different ways to select equipment. You can put in item numbers, you can put in item categories. You can also select on this icon here if you want to do it by product line, if you want to do it by brand. And what you'll see is all of those that match, say, that product line will pop up under here, and you can either select all of them or a couple of them depending on what equipment that you're trying to target. So once that's done, I can then go down here to my next filter. So I can look for any of the selected items or all of the selected items. So if I want, for example, somebody who owns both of these pieces of equipment, I can select all of them. Or if I want them to own one or the other, I can leave it as any of the selected items. And that's what I'm going to leave it at here. And then you can also tie in things like when this was purchased or when they did not purchase those, as well as the status of the equipment. So for this example, I'm going to look for somebody who purchased this equipment before, let's say 5 years ago. So I'm going to come in here and look for somebody who purchased this before May of 2019. So now I'm looking for somebody who owns either of these models and they've had them for more than 5 years, because after this time period, maybe the equipment was already upgraded or already has these parts on them as well. So I want to rule out anybody who has newer models of this equipment. And as I apply these filters, what you can see on the bottom right-hand corner is the number of locations that match this criteria that I'm inputting. So if you're trying to get down to maybe a manageable list of 50 or 100 locations, you can tailor the filters to get down to that list. Or if you're applying filters that aren't going to have any results, you'll see that down here on the bottom as well, where it'll show that there's 0 results. So this gives you an idea of how many locations are matching the criteria as you input it here. Now, I'm going to leave the equipment as it is here for my filtering, but you can also add in additional filters here. So if you want to add in another equipment category, or you want to look for customers who maybe didn't buy the latest model of this as well, you can add that in here and then look for, customers who haven't purchased this equipment in the last 5 years in addition. So you can continue to add equipment and add different filters here, and I'll show that a little bit more as we get going. The next thing I'm going to do is tie in parts. So what I can do is add in a parts filter, and I'm again going to go to a category. And for my example here, I know that as part of the retrofit kit, lamps and containers are parts that are part of this kit and get replaced as you have these opportunities come up. You want to identify customers who maybe already purchased those upgrade or retrofit kits. So what I'm going to do is exclude everybody who did not purchase these parts. Well, I'm looking for customers who did not purchase them, so I'm excluding everybody who has purchased them. So I want customers who, again, own this equipment, own those models, bought after or bought before May 2019, and then did not purchase my upgrade components. So now down on the upper or down at the bottom right, you can see there's 110 locations that match this criteria. Now, again, you can add in different things here if you want to look for additional parts that maybe they did purchase, if you want to look for more parts that they did not purchase. And then you can do similar filtering here where they purchased all of the selected items or any of the selected items. So this lets you really become granular on the customers you're looking for based on either what they have or haven't purchased. So there's a number of different ways that you can really get down to the customers that you're looking for. Now, if there's a service that goes along with this, or if you want to tie in a service, you can also do that as well. So again, if I continue down my upgrade path, what I can do is come in here and look for somebody who did not purchase the upgrade service. And again, I can check did not purchase this at any time. And that's going to now show me somebody who has also not purchased that service. And again, for services, you can do things like customers who purchased it between a particular time interval, or if they purchased it before a certain date. So all those types of criteria can be put in here as well. And then service contracts and warranties are not going to be a part of the upgrade example that I'm showing here. So this is how you can really get down to a specified list of all the customers that you want to target for this upgrade and retrofit campaign. What you can see is after doing all this filtering, I got down to 110 locations that match the criteria here that I'm searching for to really target these customers for a very specific offering of an upgrade, who own equipment that's eligible for that, and who have not yet purchased those components or that service, meaning that they'd be a good candidate to reach out to. So I'm going to show how to take the next steps on that in just a moment. But before I do that, I want to show a little bit more on the other filters that we have here as well. So you can do things like add in a service contract filter as well. So if you're looking for, say, customers that have a service contract expiring, you can come in here and again filter for those. If you want to look for somebody who's under an active service contract and expiring between a certain date, you can put that date range in here and target those customers based on that criteria. And of course, you can associate this with the equipment models up at the top as well. You can also do things like look for customers who never purchased a service contract. So if you want to target sales of service contracts, you can look for those who have not purchased. And if there's criteria you add in here which you don't want to leverage, you can go ahead and delete that, and that's going to remove that filtering. Now for warranties, this is similar to the service contract filtering that's available. So again, you can look for customers who are under warranty, not under warranty, and then you can also look for when those warranties are expiring. So if you want to target somebody when they're coming out of warranty or just before they're coming out of warranty, you can add in those date range filters here as well to get down to a list of customers that you're looking to target here. But I'm going to go ahead and delete that filter again. So I'm back to the upgrade and retrofit campaign here that I'm looking to create. So of course, there is a ton of different ways to really create the filtering here. But the difference between this and some of the install-based filtering is it allows you to get a lot more granular as far as the dates that things were purchased, the items that they have or have not purchased, and make these combinations really to drill down more into the install base to really get targeted for the customers that you're looking to identify. So once you're satisfied with your filtering here and identifying the customers that you're looking for, you can then go to the next step here, which is going to be identifying the parts that you want to sell in this instance. But you can also do things like target equipment to sell. You can also sell a service, or you could target selling a service contract. So since I was searching for customers that did not purchase these parts, it automatically populates these as the parts that I'm looking to sell to this customer in this example here. So once I go ahead and search, what that's going to do now is show all the 110 locations that are associated with the filtering that I've done here. So this allows you to quickly do a kind of sanity check to look through what are the different locations that have came up as part of my filtering. You can see things like when they last transacted, who these customers are, their 5-year annual average purchase. And then you can also see the total pipeline value that's going to be created for the lamps and containers that I'm looking to sell. Now, this is where you can also apply another layer of filters. So say, for example, you are a sales rep for a specific territory. You can come in here and select that territory. And now that's going to only show the locations that are within that territory. You can also do this after you create the pipeline if this is something that you're going to be creating for everybody, or if you're just, again, a specific sales rep, you can filter at the territory level as well. You can do things like filter by the country here. You can filter by the city. You can figure out by different location types. So if you're looking for maybe distributors versus end users, you can apply those filters here as well. And then there's additional filters like account segment and industry segment. So there's a number of different filters that you can apply here as well, depending on if you're trying to get down to a regional or a country-wide list, depending on the pipeline that you are creating. So once you get to this step, you have then 2 more options. So you can either save this as a draft, and that won't publish it, won't create opportunities, but you'll have this if you want to come back and maybe make additional changes to it before you create it. And that draft, again, will just be available to you. And the next thing you can do is go ahead and create that. And what that's going to do is create a new location or a new pipeline with the 110 opportunities here that have been identified as part of this upgrade and retrofits campaign. So once I go to create that, that then is going to display in here my newly created campaign. So I can go in here to the upgrade and retrofits campaign that I just created. And what that's going to show is an overview of the pipeline that I created here. So it will again show the filters that we put in, the parts that we're looking for that these customers did not purchase, and then tying in the service that was not purchased as well. So if you ever want to look into how a pipeline was created, what was the criteria, this is available in the overview section here as well. Within the overview, you can do a couple of different things here. So if you decide you want to rename this pipeline, you can change the name of it. If you want to adjust the target revenue, that can be done here as well. And once you decide to start working on this, you can move this to the in progress stage, knowing that this is a pipeline now that you have started working on. And so what I can do is save that, and that's going to move this pipeline to in progress. So now we're moving to how to actually work on the pipeline, how to use the opportunities that have been generated. So now that I have my pipeline set up, I can go into the opportunities here where I can see all of the locations that I filtered for that match the criteria here that I was targeting. And again, this is where you can apply additional filters. So if this was created for your whole organization, but you only work in a specific territory, I can come in here and put in South, and that's going to show me all of the locations here that are within my territory so that I'm working on the correct opportunities. You can also do things like assign these to a sales rep. So if I have a sales rep that is managing the Southern territory, I can select all here and assign those to the proper salesperson. I can also change the stage. So if I went ahead and emailed all of these customers and I want to track that, I can go ahead and change stage from here as well. And that will mass change all of the opportunities that I have selected here. And there is additional filtering that can be done here, of course, as well. Similar to the install-based filters, you can add in additional filters here. So if you want to look by a specific country, if you want to filter by things like when this is expected to close or just opportunities with contacts, you can add in all of these filters here, and that's then going to be available to filter the opportunities by. So in here, there is the opportunities that I have generated, and there's two different pieces to these. So the name is the opportunity itself, and then the account is the location that this is associated with. And you're able to see then details about this opportunity as well. So this again can be customized via the user configuration. So say, for example, you don't want to see maybe the ID for this opportunity, but you want to see when this location last transacted. You can come up here in the user configuration and then go down to the opportunities, and you can adjust what's shown here. So if I want to delete out the ID, I can do that. And then I can add in these different columns here. So I have different data that I want to view for my opportunities. So if I want to see something like when they last transacted or when I last modified the opportunity, I can add those in here, save those, and that's just going to show up for my view so that I can see the details about the opportunities that I want to see. So once I go back here, you'll see the ID has been removed, and now I just have the last transaction. Maybe that's going to be helpful for me as I'm working these leads. So once you have this all set up, you can then go into the opportunity themselves to track the progress of this initiative. So once I select that, what you'll see is I'm in the actual opportunity view now, where I can track my communication, my outreach, what I've been doing with this customer, so I can continue to monitor my lead progress and see what opportunities I've closed, what opportunities I need to follow up on, similar to other probably CRM products that you or your organization maybe uses or have used at a past one as well. So within this, there's a couple different things here that you can see. So what you'll see here is the lamps and containers, the parts that I'm looking to sell as part of my upgrade and retrofit. So you have both of those in here as the items to be sold to this location. And then you'll have things in here like the transaction history, the recommended items as well. So if you want to search through the transaction history of this customer quickly inside of the opportunity, you can do that. You can also from here go out to the location 360. So on our last training series, we went through how to leverage the account and location 360. So I won't go through that here today, but you are able to click on that and go to those from here. So once you begin working on your opportunity, you can make edits to this to be able to, again, track the opportunity. So in the upper right-hand corner, what I can do is select Edit Opportunity, and I can do things here like add in additional items or maybe remove items if those aren't relevant to my opportunity anymore. I can do things like assign a sales rep to this as well. So if I need to assign myself or somebody else, I can do that. As I begin working on the opportunity, if I've sent out, say, a proposal or a quote for this, I can update that stage. So now that tracks at what stage this opportunity is in. I can also do things like edit the amount. So if I sent out a quote for $750, I can put that amount in here, and then I can do things like update the estimated close date. So if I think this is going to close June 1st, I can put that in here. I can also do things like type in additional details, put in a follow-up date for this opportunity. And once you get done updating this, all you need to do is hit save the changes. And that's now going to update this to capture the details that I've put in here. You can also do things like look at the opportunities for this, or sorry, look at the contacts for this opportunity. So those will be down here if there are contacts available for this location. And then you can also add notes within the opportunity as well. So if you want to put a note here saying maybe the quote number that you sent out, or what was your exchange with this customer when you reached out to them, you have the ability to track those in here as well. So again, this allows you then to track the progress of the opportunities that you've been working on. And everybody's might look a little bit different than what you're seeing here as organizations customize the tracking, the stages, and some of the different fields that are in here as well. But generally, the updating of those is done via the same mechanism of going through the edit opportunity here. So once I complete this one where, I've sent out the quote for this customer, I can go back here. I can see the amount that's been updated for this, and then I can move on to my next opportunity here as well. The other thing that can be done with opportunities, if you aren't going to be going through and maybe calling these customers one by one, is you can also export this information. So if you want to use this for a marketing campaign, that can be done as well, where you gather all the email addresses for these locations, and then you can upload those into your marketing automation tool to be able to reach out to them via your other marketing mechanisms that you have. So that's how you can quickly update the opportunities here and track your progress within the pipelines that you've created. So that was really the training that I wanted to go through here. I know we have a couple minutes left, and I did see a couple questions come in here as well. So one of them was, can we create opportunities and pipelines from the install-based filters? And the answer to that is yes, you are able to create those from these filters as well. So if you don't need to go into the more advanced filtering, you can do the filtering here within the install base filters. And we do have another training series that's been recorded on this as well as how to use these filters. So if you have questions on how to leverage these, how to use them, you can watch that training recording. But up here in the upper right-hand corner is the ability to create a pipeline. So once you put in your filtering here, you can select create pipeline. And this is going to be the same where you're going to put in the name of this, and then that's going to go ahead and create the pipeline for you. The other question that I had is, what if you want to create an opportunity for an individual location and then tag it to a pipeline? So that is able to be done here from the location 360. So if I go to the location here, what you can do is go ahead and create a new opportunity. And what that'll bring you to is the opportunity creation screen here. So what you'll need to do is, again, fill out the required fields here. And then with those, you're able to fill out the fields here and then link it to a pipeline. So if I want to link this to the upgrade and retrofit pipeline that I just created, I can select that, and that's now going to be shown underneath that pipeline as well. And then you'll just need to save this, and then that will then save that underneath that pipeline, and there will be an opportunity created for this location. So 2 great questions. Thanks for raising those. I'm going to jump back quickly to my PowerPoint, as I know I'm just briefly over time. But one of the things I wanted to share with everybody here is we are putting out a survey to collect your feedback on, how Entitle is working for you. What are some different things that we can do to help improve your usage as a user? and the functionality overall. So if everybody has a couple of minutes, it'd be great to get your input as we use this to continually help improve our product. So you can scan the code here on the screen, and then we will be able to collect your feedback and address that as well. So thank you so much, everybody.